We're on? Oh, yeah, there it is.
Live. We are live on YouTube, InPassion Coaching. Hello, dear friends. So, who is it that is out there? Hello.
And
Hey,
a huge
Tom, isn't this a
embracing for
huge
me.
celebration?
Yay! Wait. I got something for somehow introducing.
But maybe you shouldn't put it on for one reason. YouTube will probably take this video down.
Okay, then I stop. Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe 5 seconds, okay?
Well,
Oh,
hopefully they won't take the whole video down. But
or
yeah,
maybe
it
cutting
is
out.
forbidden to use copyright music.
Yeah. So also from me, huge welcome to our celebration and opening for the magic of our beautiful creation. Yes,
Thank
yes, yes.
you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today and for celebrating with us this new creation. Hello, Matea. Hello. And so we decided, okay, so let's just bring everyone behind the scenes and just, share a bit of this journey, which has been, you see, like Tom is showing, like that.
After all, what a ride, yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, where shall we start, my dear? What a
So
journey.
maybe let's start with, so this, I'll start with when the story was written and then published. Maybe that's the beginning. And hello, all our friends who are showing up right now.
Huge hug.
Hello. Yay.
Yay.
So the story was written, believe it or not, in 2014. Okay? 2014. And at that time, what happened was, so the story just bloomed. And then I felt I needed an illustrator. And several illustrators showed up along the way, like that year, the following year, but always they ran away. So, first of all, they read the story, then they loved the story, then they started to try and draw the story, and boom, they ran away. So, they didn't really manage to see evil. They couldn't picture evil, and so they just or stopped taking my calls or answering messages. They disappeared. Anyway, fast forward, in 2019 I was invited to on the World Book Day. Well, I think it's world, but it's on the 23rd of April. Anyway, to a book presentation by a poet, and I sat on the front row, and at the front table, there was the poet, and to his right side was a young man, a young boy, 17-year-old. And it happened to be the young man who had illustrated that poetry book. And when I saw the illustrations, I was like, whoa, this is magnificent. And they were black and white, black on white paper. And I never thought about that. Like, that would be really cool, because like that, the book allows the reader to color it with their own imagination. And so, right at the end of the session, I went to the table and I spoke to the young man, João, and I said, I've got this story that's been waiting for an illustrator, and by now it's 2019. It was written in 2014. And so I was waiting all along for this kid to grow up. So he was just ending 12th grade. This was in April, as I said. And he said, well, yeah, just send me the story and then let's see, and I'll take it from there. And so I sent him the story. The next day, he replied, yes, yes, I'm going to illustrate this book. And then we just drew a deadline, and by mid-June, he had the illustrations done. And from then on, we created a partnership. So the first version, which is Portuguese English, it's bilingual, is in partnership with him. Because I said, João, the thing is, if this book had no illustrations, it wouldn't be out there even. So let's make this a partnership. Yeah. Okay. So then I started looking for a publisher, and the first publisher that answered was the one that we actually made the deal with. And in October 2019, we were signing the contract, and on the 1st February 2020, the book launch happened. And it was all really rolling wonderfully. We were contacting schools, we were doing presentations. We had a really beautiful workshop crafted together around the book, which was with conscious breath. It was with creative writing and creative drawing, and it was me and João. And I mean, he was just 18 at the time, so for him it was a totally new experience, and for me it was such a joy, because this young man is really a beautiful, beautiful master. And so we were having loads of fun. And then what happens? You all know what happened, right? In March, bam, came the whole COVID era. And so then schools stopped having live classes. Things just changed. He'd also gone into university. He's studying drawing, and now he's doing a master's in painting. So he's a full-on artist. It's his heart and soul in it. And then when the book was published in 2020, I wanted to create these conscious breath tracks. And again, the game started again, as the same as it had been with Illustrator, with the musicians. So a few musicians were invited, and they loved the story and they loved the music, but then boom, they disappeared. And then in May last year, so as it took around a year and a half for the actual real musician to show up, and I'm very grateful that the others all disappeared.
Me too.
At the end of April, beginning of May 2021, Tom sends me out of the blue his sweet nectar. And for those of you who have heard it, you know how magnificent it is. And for those of you who haven't, he will be launching it soon, so you will know. Anyway, he sends me sweet nectar, and I'm just carried away by it. It's like fantastically magic, the crystalline energy in it, the beauty, everything. And this is it. This is it. There is no other person, no other divine human to create this but Tom. And so I contacted Tom and I said, Tom, I have a proposal for you. And so we had our first meeting, and Tom said yes. I sent him the audio of the book, which is not the audio book you have right now, because now it's edited, but the first draft, and he listened to the story, etc. And then please go on, Tom.
Okay, here I am then. Yeah, how beautifully everything comes to the master. And from my side, it was like a so beautifully strong impulse to send you the music. I mean, I could have sent it to someone, but no, you had to receive it. No idea why. I have to send it to you. And then, yeah, it kept on rolling and rolling. After all this journey, I'm so grateful of this dance combined now in this beautiful city we have created. And yes, you're thinking maybe, okay, May, and now it's so late. What took so long?
May 2021, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but everything to its perfect place, to its perfect time. For me, of course, it was not just making a CD, making an album. There was so much energy involved here, and I had to take my pauses here and then. Some deep breathings with that, and with all the energies. Yeah, so many beautiful things happened also in my life. Then there was the divorcing of my wife. Then you gave me some time, to relax and bring a lot of things home. And then I guess was it 2 months? My
You
computer wasn't
changed
working.
home.
Yeah, I changed my
Yeah,
home.
about 2 or 3 months you were
Yeah,
in pause. Yeah.
yeah. So everything had to go new to new energy, and on that platform, yeah, I could create, yeah, this beautiful music. Um, I consciously have to say yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah,
and
yeah, my dear.
and can you share how you created the music?
Yeah, for me, like in this short sharing, everything going new. And for a short, maybe 5 seconds, the human came then, okay, how do we do that? And immediately, everything new. I didn't listen to your sessions, the audio tracks in before. I said, no, no,
Only the titles. You only had the
only the
titles.
titles, only the titles. And I was like, okay, let's feel and then let's flow. And I just let it flow. And I wasn't thinking about, okay, this is the inner garden. How do I create an inner garden? No, 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 no. This was, especially then with the sweet nectar, my first experience of, yeah, having the presence of my essence here and just kept it flowing and flowing. To make it a little short, the magic was then, okay, I did the music, and I wasn't thinking about how long is, your audio track, for example. And it was just pasting your voice in, and it always was perfect. Always perfect. And that was for me, how magical is this? For me, also as a musician composer, totally new experience. And especially after pasting your audio, then your voice saying like, now take a deep breath. And the sounds I created on typically, this timing was then in an opening, and I was like, what are we creating here? For myself, I was so blown away. And yeah, it's so in awe. And also with every instruments I used, there was no thinking. It was a flow, like my soul guiding my hands. Okay, you have tons of instruments. Human, don't think about it. Just let it flow. And this is a flow, a magical flow that's here in this creation. I'm still in awe. I really have to say, because this is actually so much wisdom in it. Human, you're no longer under control, and just let it flow. And yeah, like you sense, I'm still in awe. But I
And
feel,
I am
yeah, yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah. And when I feel into it, and maybe you all can feel, it's from our essence, flowing, 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 such a love. And with the reviews we get back, the people perceive that, and that's such a gift to share that with everyone.
And
Yeah.
for me, there was one thing uh, that I've never experienced at this level, which was being with you in your
Mhm,
studio
mhm,
while you were creating the music and still being wherever I am,
mhm,
and and really having a very tangible sense that we were somehow dancing
mhm,
together
mhm,
in this creation, that it was being weaved really weaved by an entanglement of our souls. Like
Yeah.
our souls, like sort of, they blended throughout the creation, and the creation was happening within that blend. And the thing is, I could feel that and could perceive myself in that multidimensionality, but at the same time be very present
Mm,
here and now in my physical body, wherever I was in each moment. But I could feel this creation happening in the background, in another dimension. It was a soul fusion, the likes of which I have never experienced in a creation like this one that we've created at this level. So it was wow, it was wow, what is this? It's all of the feelings, the sensations beyond our capacity even to
mm.
comprehend how it happens. How is this even possible? And we actually call each other Shiva brother and Shakti sister,
Yeah.
um, because it was really that sense of brotherhood, sisterhood, of being as one in a creation, of blending our
Mm,
both of our frequencies and energies and everything for one creation. So for me, that was really incredibly intense
mm.
and beautiful. And especially in the last month, it
Yeah.
intensified a thousandfold. Like in the last month, we would sometimes communicate, and uh, Tom was just listening to the same exact thing I was listening to in terms
Woo!
of the CD. Or he was listening to the story while I was editing it, or I was listening to a track while he was editing it. And like we kept on showing up in each other's physical landscape more. Even like before, it was more of a kind of a transcendent thing, something more multidimensional and interdimensional. But in the last month, it was really like somehow we were really present in each other's reality, and so we just kept on showing up in our realities, and that was like, whoa.
Yeah, yeah. So many magical moments, definitely. Like
So
I just struck his head. Often, always these. Really, you listen to that at the same time, feeling, sensing that, and with this getting physical here on this earth, like I told to you, next to my house, I have a driver school where they have big TC, on their cars. So somebody also moved into my house, and I was like, okay, Tania Castillo everywhere, everywhere.
it was amazing. So I've never in like creating something, because I have created things in partnership before, but never at this level. So in terms of bringing forward a child in this sense,
Mm,
that
mm,
the whole creation is bringing forward a child, a
mm,
newborn, into
mm,
earth, and it is a newborn that comes from the crystalline realms, filled with pure innocence, pure joy, the most essential flow of essence that
mm,
we couldn't even imagine
mm.
would be the result. So that's why I say I'm really thankful that all of the other musicians just disappeared.
Makes
Probably
total sense.
because they weren't willing to surrender to this kind of fusion.
Yeah,
It would be confusing. It would blow their mind or whatever. And now I understand. Now I can realize. Oh yeah, this is really intense, and it requires total surrender on both sides,
mm,
so that something like this can actually come into this physical realm. and we allowed it, and that's the
Totally.
magnificent thing, and despite the challenges you were going through, Tom, in your personal life, many challenges came up, right? And still you were never like, no, I'm giving up, I'm not, I'm not really into this. No, you were just, no, this is it. And you were embracing the challenges with so much gratitude as well.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about my challenges, because I didn't go through that many. I went through a few, but not that many challenges that I can speak of. But for me, it was more of the expansion, the expanding to a level that I had not experienced before, in partnership with another, in terms of creating something that then is a physical thing, is something that is existing now in the physical world. So yeah, it was, for me, also unique, in terms of the whole creation.
Mm. Yeah, and that's, I guess, why we are so grateful and full of grace and bliss. Because always when I feel just into this time or into this dance of our souls, it's such a love that is streaming. This is the reason I never, not one time, was thinking about giving that up, although the energies were really intense.
Yes,
Like I said,
yes.
I had to take my pauses, and like I said, it's not creating, it's energies also flowing from you, the energies from your spoken word, the wisdom behind it, and the depth behind it, and
So
interesting.
basically, your music was changing me all along the way,
Mm,
and my voice was changing you all along the way. But then there was not the voice and the music. It was just one thing. It was
yeah.
always becoming one thing. So
Mm,
it profoundly changed both of us in different
totally.
ways,
Yeah.
but it profoundly changed both of us. And it was like, for me, and I suppose for you too, opening the doors into the crystalline realms and really allowing them to flood into our reality like never
Mm,
before.
yeah,
It's
totally.
really using that magic that we talk about so often. It is purely magical.
Totally. I'm also thinking right now about creating, the stream of these crystalline realms. Each instrument, why are using this violin or this drum, the energy communication behind it, that the potentials, it was not, the energy flow of such a violin. This was for me receiving the energies for opening up this and that potentials, and seeing that, and also feeling that at the same time for people who will listen to that music, and felt the people at the same time. So for me also, in creating totally new experience in such a depth, and yeah, there is no power in it, but I guess you all feel from our hearts. That's a gift we share here, and yeah, received some reviews like, okay, something like that haven't been done before in this intensity, and beautiful to observe actually that some people speak of some resistance somehow, but after
Ah, yeah.
going or letting go of the resistance, they are so yeah, what words to use, surprised that they gifted themselves with such a beauty that it's something really, really beyond there. And I feel also like I said on my welcoming video on my Facebook page, like the people who listen to this co-created that as well. They were
Oh,
also in
yeah.
this room, and
Yes, yes. That's what makes this so completely beyond the capacity to understand it.
mm,
And
mm,
on that note, I'd like to refer that. Okay, so it's simple. Is it a children's story? Is it not? Is this immersive experience for children? Is it not? Well, actually, we came to discover along
mm,
the way, and I already had come to discover that since the story was written, each time I shared it with an adult to read or to review or whatever, or with a teacher to eventually use with their children, whatever, they were always blown away by the story, because the story always touched them deeply and reminded them of things they had forgotten, and also showed them things they didn't even know were there, or touched places they weren't aware that were just there waiting to be opened,
mm,
to be allowed. And so I started looking, okay, so I always had a bit of trouble placing the story into an age group. And now I understand why. Because the story is not for a specific age group. It is definitely a story for everyone. And of course, each one, depending on their age group, will, and also on their level of consciousness or wherever they are at on their journey, will get from it whatever is appropriate for them
mm,
in their now perfect now moment. But for grown-ups, like the case, it is so special because it revives, and not only revives, but actually opens places that were completely closed. And one of them is the pure innocence of
mm,
soul. And but the pure innocence of soul is not an innocence that is immature. It's an innocence that is wise and mature. And it's that pure innocence that is opened through this whole experience and allowed. And with that, what happens is that not only the child aspects that are eventually still waiting to be acknowledged and accepted and embraced and loved feel safe to come forward, because the energies within this creation are so inviting.
mm.
And the other beautiful thing is that this production, well, let's call it like that, immersive experience. And the reason why we call it immersive experience is because you just are immersed in it as if you were bathing in an ocean. And so, in the same way as when you bathe in the ocean, the water of the ocean does its thing. So it has the salt, it has all of the minerals and all of the properties that the water of the ocean has, and that is beneficial for us. So the same way, this experience, you immerse yourself in it, and it just shifts things on its own. You don't
Mm.
have to make an effort, you don't have to do anything. It's just saying yes, allowing, opening up for it, and it just very naturally shifts and shifts and shifts. And when you open your eyes after each track, is what happened here? Something has changed inside of me. So it's that simple. And it's interesting that the soundtracks for the conscious breath, etc., would come in this form, in this kind of effortless flow, that a person can just immerse themselves in them and allow themselves to receive it fully, because the story is called, so it's simple. You don't have to do anything else, just allow it, just allow it. So the whole thing is in tune. And another thing that I'd like to refer is that little Evu, the main character of the story, um, is, for me, is a character on his own. He's like not a character that I created. Is like he has a life of his own. um, the special qualities of this child are beyond my creation. So it's not like I created the story, or like Tom created the music, or like we created the whole thing. It's beyond us as human beings, individually creating something that then comes forth. It's a different kind of creation, and that for me is like, Wow. Because each time I read the story, it touches me. Each time. And I've read it loads of times, obviously. I mean, I wrote it. And for Tom, it's the same thing. Like each time you listen to the music, and each time I listen to the music, it's whoa. And each time you've listened to it loads and loads of time to do the mastering, the editing, all of that. And it's always beautiful. It's wow.
Yeah, here then I have to quote the Holy Doris that is here online. She also said that Evo's story is our story eventually. And so in the creation mode I was in, there was never the question of, is this a children thing? Is this an adult thing? There was no, separation. Like some people were still asking, is this a children's city or what is it? No, I mean, feel into that. And that's, like you so beautifully said, it's eventually about our inner child and the innocence within it. And yeah, when Doris said that, it was for me also like, yeah, it's our own story. Everyone is such a beautiful individuality, but eventually it's about, yeah, discovering your innocence, your inner beauty. With such love, yes. I have no cats here. I just have my kid's teddy bear.
So this is Twinkle. He showed up magically 2 weeks ago and never went away. And now he was trying to cuddle my face. So he comes and he just cuddles my face. And he's like,
Hmm.
he's just feeling all of this love at this moment. And yeah, and sharing it as well. So thank you for joining us, Twinkle.
Yes.
I was gonna leave him out in the living room, but he just didn't want to stay. He
Makes
was
sense.
scratching the door to come here
Makes sense.
and be a part of this with us. Um, of course, it's also, I would say it's also for children. You know, the funny
Of
thing is, yeah, it
course, of
is also
course.
for children, obviously. But from the very beginning, when the story was created, I always felt is I didn't know what it meant at the time. Now I know. Somehow, through the children, this story is going to touch the adults. And now I know exactly what that meant.
Mm,
So, yeah, it's actually going to touch the inner children of the adults. And of course, if people do have children and would like to explore this material with them, it will also touch them as well. I mean, all
mm.
will be touched. And Grace, there is a question here. Does your music always touch its listeners from what you call recall? I don't know what you call recall. Maybe you
Yeah,
could clarify that. Do you
yeah,
understand the
please.
question, Tom?
I can sense a little bit, but I'm asking also for a little
I can sense
clarification.
what you mean by recall, but if you could clarify just slightly so that we know that we're responding properly, please do. Um, yeah, so it's just for me, it's beyond anything I've ever done before.
For me too. And for a few days, yeah, especially when some reviews came in, I got more and more consciousness of what beauty we have created. And with that, I feel, a flow from my heart, so deep flowing out into this world. Like you wondered why this thing was coming out now, all the story, 8 years, you were looking for this, you were looking for that. That the time and place is always perfect. And yeah,
Definitely.
it's so deep from my soul coming, the energies right now so intense. And yeah, there are interesting things happening. I mean, you could mention, this happens cross thing. Some people are talking about. What I just want to share deeply from my heart, it's sensing Tanya's energy. For me, Tanya is the mother, the master of grounding and opening, and yeah, to stay balanced in this time and to embrace yourself more and more. This is a perfect gift, a perfect tool, the perfect playground, the perfect magic with all the crystalline energies in it. So it came to me so clear. Ah, it makes so much sense that this is coming out right now. I mean, of course, you could have released it 10 years ago, conscious breathing, always a big thing, but it's like our souls were waiting, like, no, this is the time when this is coming out. And this feels so huge, I have to say. So,
You know, another funny thing is never throughout the whole experience was I feeling impatient. So for me, it didn't matter. Like in 2014, then the illustrators always just didn't come and all that. And it was okay. I was in no hurry. It didn't matter at all. I didn't really care if they were coming today, tomorrow, or in 5 years. I wasn't even placing a deadline for this production. And the other thing is, I never lost steam, in the
mm,
sense that I wasn't impatient, I wasn't in a hurry, but this story, this production, this creation never never was forgotten. It was something I always had present in me, that it what it was and how I wanted it to be.
mm.
And wanted it is not the right term, but I suppose you understand what I mean. What I felt it was to be, let's say. Um, and so for me, it was really no issue. So just things just happened when they happened. But the whole creation never, ever stopped existing. So, and I can't even say that it was a kind of a perseverance, because I wasn't making any kind of an effort or anything. The story was there. It was going to be whatever it was supposed to be, whenever it was meant to be. And my job was just to keep on providing the circumstances, keep on staying present with it, on knowing, on trusting it, just like the story says. If whoever has listened to the audiobook or read the book knows that the story, one of the big key things about it is trust, faith, undying faith.
Mm,
And it was just simple for me. It was just natural like that. And you are so right, Tom. It only was ready, like the whole thing, the whole bundle, the audiobook, the physical book, the CD, which we don't like to call a CD because it's not necessarily a CD, it's an experience with the conscious breath and the music and all that. And we have it now. It's in Portuguese and in English, and the book itself is also in Hindi and English. It's a bilingual version, and there's also an English version, and a Slovenian English version is being worked on. And who knows which other versions of the actual immersive experience are going to come forth
mm,
afterwards. But the thing had to have enough opening on earth to be received.
mm,
Just like you say, it's now is the time.
mm.
It's not one moment earlier. So there's no rush, no rush ever.
This aspect was a huge thing for some of my aspects. When I think of, there were 2 months when my computer wasn't working that properly.
Oh,
Yeah, you remember that one?
I remember you were
That-
going
that-
crazy.
yeah, that was really shitting my pants. Yeah, I bought this, the new MacBooks and with the new system, and all the music programs didn't work properly. And you just imagine, and it was my music program for 10 seconds. Oh, yeah, let's create further. And then, boom, everything shut down.
And
For
by the
maybe
time you'd already created, I think, 3 tracks or 4,
yeah, at least,
at least.
yeah, that was yeah, huge for me also too. Interesting. Okay, this will work out. For my human side, I did everything. Don't know what to do. Yeah, and eventually it needed an update, and then everything was again. But these 2 months, I had such passion to work further on it, and then always the program crushing. Okay, the doors are closed now. So maybe time for me to get a pause, take some breathing, and to go within. But yeah, for some aspects for me, that was really hard. Oh my God, what will Tanya think? And
And I
so
was
on.
just,
Yeah.
yeah,
That
well,
was my aspect.
whatever.
But that was
For me,
also
there was
yeah,
never a problem.
yeah, yeah. The human and the divine. Yeah. The human was really bleeding at that
And
time.
a funny thing also was that you have this friend that is that does editing, right? He does
Mhm,
music editing and all of that
mhm,
stuff,
mhm,
masterizing voice and music and all
mhm,
that. And you asked him and asked him and asked him if he would review, and asked him, and he would say yes, and then he wouldn't, and then
mhm,
he would say call me, and then he, like, you were running after him for a while. And I
mhm.
was always saying, maybe Tom, maybe you're gonna do it. And you're like, oh no, I don't know how to do that. That's really hard, and so on. And then what happened? What happened? You want to share?
Hmm, let's call it sovereignty. Yeah, this was the clear energy communication. No, you have to do it on your own. And after three months, I guess I got something from this music producer, but I couldn't use it. It was actually not, yeah, to use. And so everything was like, no, Tom, you have to do it. Little human then thought maybe, no, let's use the professionals. And no, okay, then I did it everything on my own. I bought, the programs and so on, and yeah, watch some YouTube tutorials to get the knowledge.
God bless YouTube.
Yes,
YouTube
definitely.
tutorials are the
For
best.
everything, for everything.
We learned how to make cement on YouTube's
Yeah,
tutorials, me and
yeah.
Joanna, the other day. So yeah,
Okay, also
everything's
YouTube
there.
then, yeah. Yeah, also sometimes when I have to do homework with my kids, like, oh, how did it work? YouTube. Yeah. So in that way, that was also a huge chapter for realization for myself, sovereignty, and also for my music going then the way of no, everything new. There will be no Spotify, there will be no Apple Music. No, it's everything here sovereign. There's no label. It's my sovereign energy. Like the CD, we have it sovereign on your side and it will be on my side. So this is, with while starting this creation, no, we're going to the new energy, and now let's do it everything in a new way. Like I explained, no listening before, sensing and letting it flow. And yeah, here we are and have something beautiful created, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. And the funny thing is, you know what the funny thing is that because this is really a new energy creation, and we can just be here talking about how beautiful it is
Hmm.
without any issue about it. I mean, because it is, it's
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
yeah, it's a fact. There is nothing to it. It's the most natural thing. And I believe a bit of the old energy consciousness was used to be, you can't really express something you've created as being magnificent. It has to be other people that have to speak about it, because if you express it, it may be interpreted this or that way. And now we are absolutely sure that it's not going to be interpreted in any other way but
Mm,
the way that we are sharing it, and that the only way to share it would be to say it is magnificent, because it is. I mean, there is no other way to put it. And it's magnificent to us in the same way as it is to anyone who's listening to it for the first time. And as I said, the story is as magnificent to me today as the moment it came
mm.
through. And I don't feel like it's mine in any way. It doesn't belong to me. It belongs to everyone who reads it and explores it. And it's just our creation. All
Mm.
of us are sort of co-creating it each time it is listened to, each time it is read. It is an ongoing, expanding co-creation.
Yeah, definitely. Also, when I just observe, my way as a musician, then back then, okay, musicians tend to be very heady, with notes and do this and do that and let's go crazy here and there. And yeah, I was some of it maybe also, let's do some jazzy thing here and then this there, and then how it comes down, the music has some kind of simplicity, but through the layers, and now I guess comes the new energy thing within, is the consciousness and the energy that is flowing there within. And I'm so proud to say, yes, I consciously create in that way, and that feels new. And this is what the people are feeling then. And by the reviews we get, it's yeah, quite divine.
It is. It sure is. It sure
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
And of course, it will have different effects in different people depending on each one's journey,
mm,
and on each one's allowing, and whatever is appropriate in each moment shall be so. And yeah, I believe we've shared pretty much everything we had to share around this creation. I don't know if you have anything else you'd like to add, Tom.
I'm just checking now if the question was clarified a little bit more, but no.
No.
But eventually, what came through me was a big yes regarding the question. Yes,
Yeah.
such a joy. Yeah, yeah, dear Sandra.
So yeah, we
No.
do. It does awaken that place of recall in
Mm,
everyone that listens to it.
yeah. But all in all, what can I say again? It's so flowing from our souls. There's so much love. Right now, reminding Joanna wrote me yesterday regarding the inner garden, these moments of, when I found some strings and so on, I was just crying, sending you a message. Tania, it is so beautiful. I remember.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's so much love in it, and also a powerhouse of
Yeah,
magic
a
in here.
strength, a
Yeah,
strength, a power, yes, but not, of course, in
yeah.
the way power was perceived
I
before.
guess all the people understand here.
Of
Yeah,
course, for sure,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
That's important that
yeah,
you understand what we mean by that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, so thank you all so very much for not only for joining us here today, but for joining us in this co-creation.
Mm,
uh,
definitely.
because basically all of you that are a part of our lives, whether we know it or not, because you might be a part of our lives, and we still don't know it because you haven't even come into our conscious awareness, but you're
Mhm.
still a part of our lives. um, Thank you for celebrating with us, because this, for me, honestly, what I feel is that this creation is a turning point. is a turning point on Earth, on our allowing, on the possibilities that are available right now for everyone. It's a turning point in bringing crystalline energy really tangibly into this physical reality. It's a turning point of consciousness, of allowing sweetness, of allowing love, of
Mm,
allowing innocence like never before, because we are walking into a completely new time and space of creation, which we have created together and provided for
mm.
each other and for ourselves. So it is a moment to celebrate. Yes, it is.
I would tend to make this song on again, but
But
then
yeah, don't.
no, no, we can't like that.
Yeah. Don't put the song on again because we
No,
don't
no,
know
no.
what they're gonna do on YouTube.
But from my side, no more words needed. You put it so perfectly and beautifully together, and it's now just about feeling it.
And
Yeah.
Mateja here says you set a standard of beauty, of co-creations and cooperations. Yes, I feel that too. We
Mm,
the allowing, the level of allowing and of blending that we have created together is it requires a really open heart.
mm,
It requires the innocence that we are not thinking about previous experience of co-creation that we have had in the past, and that some of them worked out and others didn't, and whatever, no, it's pure, it's new. This co-creation is new, like every new co-creation with everyone and anyone that we allow. And for me, cooperation is in everything. It's in us, in the human and divine, within ourselves, and in that, the invitation with every other single souled being. And
mm.
this was what we allowed ourselves together.
So beyond nothing to say anymore from my side. I'm just in awe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so thank you very much, everyone. We love
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
and we are really happy that you're here with us on Earth right now. And to all of the friends who have departed, thank you as well
Mm,
for supporting us along the way, for helping us open the doors. And not only the friends that have departed most recently, also the ascended masters that have been accompanying us all along the way. Thank you so much. Thank you
yeah.
so much.
Also from me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And now gift yourself this beautiful creation. What else
Yeah,
to
well, obviously, huh? Now, that was a really good marketing move, my dear friend Tom.
Oh, who, me? No, no, what's the Kutumi? It's flying around here.
Yeah. But yeah, the reason why we decided to make this live is so beyond marketing. Really, it's just to share this unique experience that we've really never experienced before
Yeah,
in this
yeah,
way, and that's why it was so special for us to share it with you too. What it's
yeah.
been like.
So a new chapter for us and a new chapter for all of creation. Yeah,
Definitely, yeah,
definitely.
for creation here on Earth. So,
Yeah.
so uh, we have also a few comments here. Iola says, yes, thank you for this sharing. I can feel the opening of so much through this. Bravo and just magical. Thank you, Iola. Thank you, everyone. Oh, there's so much love here. It gives me
Yeah,
goosebumps.
yeah,
And
yeah,
Little
yeah.
Twinkle says, hey, Bye.
Twinkle, twinkle.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Oh, so cute. The master cat.
Yeah.
So then, my dears, much love to you all, and thank you that
Thank
you
you.
are here. Yes.
Thank you
Okay.
all. Bye.